What would you guys say to someone who has now been priced out of the market, though, due to affordability?
One of the most important terms in my world lending is what's called your debt to income ratio. And that's a really important number with qualifying for a loan. That's just taking your total debt per month, your housing expense, right? Your property taxes, your home insurance, your HOA payment, your car loan, credit cards, student loans, leases, taking all those amounts and then dividing that by your gross monthly income. And so for conventional loans, typically the max debt to income ratio is 49.99% for loans that you put down 5% down. For conventional, that's typically what the max debt to income ratio is. And I had a lot of clients who a year ago they qualified for this one price and now it's 15% higher, so they don't qualify for the same house that they saw 1 year ago, and it's frustrating. And so as a lender, we have to come up with solutions because everyone wants to be a homeowner eventually. And so my job is to help them try to qualify for this higher price if that's what they want to do. But I just wanted to give you some examples on how I was able to lower a client's debt to income ratio because of the prices going up. So I'm just going to throw out some examples. Like one client, I suggested we just wait 2 weeks because she was going to be getting her bonus for last year in 2 weeks. And then once she got that bonus, we were going to have a 2-year history of her getting a bonus. And I could use that as extra income to lower her debt to income ratio. Another instance was my cousin. She has been looking to buy a house for over 2 years. And she's been at the same company for 5 years. She was an hourly wage earner. She hadn't got a raise in 3 years, and she was a really hard worker, never missed any days. And I told her, I'm like, just go ask your employer, just say I've been there 5 years. I work hard. I do a great job. I've never asked for anything. And she asked for a raise, and they gave her an hourly rate bump, which allowed her to qualify for a higher purchase price. Another client, down payment, right? So they were able to get like a gift from their parents to help them with the down payment. Another client, they were able to borrow from their 401k and use that to put more money down. I've had clients who have maybe 2 or 3 credit cards, like they owe $2,000, $1,500, a couple grand on three credit cards, and the credent cards, they're sometimes like 25% on the interest rate, and the payments were like $150 a month. So I suggested to her, like, why don't you pay off those credit cards and you can eliminate that high payment, and then you could put less money down and still be able to buy a new higher priced home. I had another client, they had an auto loan that they got like 3 years ago, and they didn't really have really good credit 3 years ago, and they had a really high interest rate on the auto loan. So I suggested, since your credit score is skyrocketed, why don't you try to refinance that auto loan and get a lower payment? And they were able to do that to save money, and then it lowered their debt to income ratio, allowed them to qualify for a higher price.
As a realtor, I've worked with lots of different lenders, and some of them are just very cut and dry, can't do it. And when you have a lender like Brad who has solutions and can think outside of the box and think, hey, here's an area where we could improve this person's situation, it's very, very helpful to us on the real estate side to be able to go back to that client and say, hey, you got to talk to my lender. He's got some interesting solutions. Why don't you talk it over with him, see what you can come up with. On the real estate side, we can always come up with other solutions as well, which is maybe you can make an adjustment into what you're going to buy, and find that if it's a first-time home buyer, just getting them into a good property and then giving them good advice like, hey, never sell that property, save that property as a good investment property. So start saving your money for the next house now, or working on a plan that's a lifelong plan for them versus just, let me sell you a house and then I'll get on to the next thing and you'll go on to the next thing. Really, my clients I've worked with for years and years, and the reason is they come back to me is I'll help them with solutions to anything that they need help with, not just the house, but a lot of other things. We become very confidential, and For an example, Brad's given some good examples there. I have a client who I sold. He had listed his house with another agent. It didn't sell. It was way ridiculously overpriced, almost a 30% overprice on it. I was able to get it sold to one of my investors. He was able to move into his new home. And now it's 2 years later. Now he's thinking of retiring. He wants to build a new home. So he wanted to move to Malibu. And I said, well, Malibu's $500,000 to $1 million just for the dirt. And he didn't know that. He thought, he's looking online, he sees these $80,000 lots and he thinks, well, I can buy there and build a house. So having a good conversation with him. Now he's going to go to San Diego. His plans changed a little bit, but he calls me all the time just to get advice.